2013. On behalf of all the graduates here today, I would like to thank all the parents, family members, teachers, and friends who encourage and support us as we work towards arriving to this day.
Please bow your heads with me as I open us in prayer. Dear God, I want to thank you for allowing each and every one of us to be here today. I pray that you keep everyone safe in our futures, and as we face hardships, I pray that you make yourself known to us, and I pray that we seek your guidance in everything we do. I'm so blessed that I built the relationships I did with my fellow classmates. Thank you for the teachers and administrators you provide each and every one of us with. Without them, we wouldn't be able to graduate this evening. I also want to thank our families for giving us guidance throughout high school and being patient when patience was the last thing on their minds. I ask for your blessing on the rest of the ceremony. Amen.
Please stand for the singing of our national anthem.
Good evening. Welcome to Milton-Union High School's 2013 Commencement exercises. It's my honor to introduce to you the guests on the stage, to honor your children for their accomplishments, and to soon make them alumni of our very fine high school. Dr. Ramel, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Connie McCarroll, fellow administrators, teachers, counselors, parents, family, and most importantly, soon-to-be graduates. It is a distinct pleasure to be with you this evening. Tonight, we gather with great anticipation of the many new opportunities that await your sons and daughters. I think I can speak for everyone here when I say we are truly happy and excited to see what the future holds for each of our graduates. Before I begin my remarks this evening, I would like to recognize two of the most powerful groups of people in the room with us this evening. So at this time, I would ask any and all educators, Milton-Union teachers and staff in the audience to stand so that our seniors may thank you for their efforts on their behalf. So if you are a teacher, past or present in the building, I would ask that you stand. As it is Memorial Day weekend, I also think it's fitting at this time to invite any and all Milton veterans and veterans in general in the audience, as well as enlisted graduates, soon-to-be graduates who are enlisting in the military to stand. time, so we may honor you for your sacrifices. Your sacrifices keep us free and allow us to enjoy what we do here this evening. This evening, I continue to be blessed and honored to share with you a couple of thoughts before we send you on your way as a class of 2013. To that end, I would like to share 3 very brief vignettes with the graduates and honored guests this evening. The first one that I will share with you is called The Frogs in the Tower. I don't know about you, but my children have a tiny West African Nile frog at home that we bought for Christmas about 5 years ago. Never caught it little week. It's still there. I still clean the tank, and it still is feeding and doing well. And it made me think of this as I was wanting to share it with you this evening. There once were a bunch of tiny frogs who arranged a running competition. The goal was to reach the top of a very high tower. A big crowd had gathered around the tower to see the race and to cheer on the contestants. And the race began. Honestly, no one in the crowd believed that the tiny frogs had reached the top of the tower. And you heard things from the audience such as this: "Oh, way too difficult. They'll never make it to the top. Not a chance to succeed. The tower is too high." The tiny frogs began collapsing one by one, except for those who in a fresh tempo were climbing higher and higher still. The crowd continued to yell, "It's too difficult. No one's going to make it." More tiny frogs got tired and gave up. But one continued, higher and higher and higher, and you guessed it, they reached the top. At the end, except for the one tiny frog who with this big effort had reached the top, all the other tiny frogs naturally wanted to know how this one frog had accomplished such a feat. The contestant asked the tiny frog how they had managed to do that. The simple answer to the story is, they realized that frog was deaf. On another note from the animal kingdom, I would like to share with you a story about giraffes. Happen to be my youngest child's favorite animal at the zoo. And I don't know what you know about giraffes. I didn't know much until I researched this story. But I can tell you this: bringing a giraffe into the world is a tall order. That's a pun intended. A baby giraffe falls 10 feet from its mother's womb and usually lands on its back. Within seconds, it rolls over, tucks its legs under its body, and from that position it considers the world for the first time, and it shakes off the last vestiges of birthing fluid from its eyes and ears. The mother giraffe rudely then introduces the reality to the young giraffe. In his book, A View from the Zoo, Gary Richmond describes how a newborn giraffe learns its very first lesson. The mother giraffe lowers her head long enough to take a quick look. She positions herself directly over the calf. She waits about a minute, and then she does the most unreasonable thing imaginable. She swings her long, pendulous lid outward and kicks her baby so that it is spent and thrown over, head over heels. When it doesn't get up, the violent process is repeated over and over and over again. The struggle to rise is momentous. The baby calf grows tired. The mother kicks it yet again to stimulate its efforts. Finally, the calf stands for the first time on its tiny, wobbly legs. Then the mother giraffe does the remarkable thing. She kicks it to its feet again. Why, you ask? Such cruelty? She wants it to remember how it got up. Because in the wild, baby giraffes must be able to get up quickly as possible to stay with the herd, where there is safety from lions, hyenas, leopards, and wild hunting dogs, all who enjoy young giraffe, and they get it too, if the mother didn't teach the calf to get up quickly and get with it. The late Irving Stone understood this as he spent his life studying the greatness that he wrote about, novelizing biographies of people such as Michelangelo, Vincent van Gogh, Sigmund Freud, and Charles Darwin. Stone once was asked if he had found a thread that runs through the lives of these exceptional people. He simply said, "I write about people who sometimes in their life have a vision or a dream, something that should be accomplished, and they simply go to work. They're beaten over the head, knocked down, often vilified for years and get nowhere. But every time they're knocked down, they stand up. You cannot destroy these people, and at the end of their lives, they've accomplished something modest as a part of what they set out to do." Much like that giraffe coming into the world and struggling to survive, many of us will begin anew yet this evening. My last story that I would ask you as my students to consider is simply titled, How Rich Are We? One day a father of a very rich family took his son out into the country with the firm purpose of showing his children how poor people really can be. They spent a day and night on the farm of a very, very poor family. When they got back from the trip, the dad asked, "How was the trip?" "Very good, Dad," his children exclaimed with an exclamation point. "Did you see how poor people can be?" the father asked. "Yeah, and what did you learn?" The son answered, "I saw that we had a dog at home, and they have 4. We have a pool that reaches to the middle of the garden, and they have a creek that has no end. We have imported lamps in our garden, and they have the stars. Our patio reaches to the front yard. They have the whole horizon." When the little boy was finished, his father was speechless. His son added, "Thanks, Dad, for showing me how, quote-unquote, poor we are. Isn't it true that it all depends on the way you look at things? If you have love, friends, family, health, good humor, positive attitude towards life, then you've got everything. You can't buy any of these things. You may have all the material possessions you can imagine, provisions for the future, etc. But if you're a poor spirit, you have absolutely nothing." These 3 vignettes, these 3 life lessons, know that the real world is waiting for you. The world will tell you, beginning tonight, maybe shortly after you walk out of here, diploma in hand, that you can't do it. Try. No, better yet, do it anyway. The world will kick you again and again. Keep getting up. You only have to get up one more time, then you can kick down to be a success. Remember, it is your perspective, and that perspective is determined by you, with the most powerful part of your body, and that's the brain in your head. At this point in my life, I can assure all of you in this room, adults, elders, and minors alike, that I believe it is time for you to go and assure yourselves by beginning to live your life on your own terms. I tell my own children daily that they are the best part of every day. I pray that they will grow up to be happy, healthy, smart, and beautiful. In other words, just like their mother. I remain blessed beyond recognition, and I give thanks for my own abundance of blessings prior to my feet hitting the floor each morning. It is my sincere hope and prayer that you will be showered with blessings as you begin the next stage of your life. Remember, as we go through this ceremony this evening, that the faculty and staff of Milton-Union Schools remain eager to hear of your successes, and yes, even of your challenges. Keep in touch with those that have helped you arrive at this evening's commencement. The world truly is a vast and small place all at the same time. I am certain our paths will cross again, and as I like to say at graduations over the years, as you leave a small town with big tradition, carry your bulldog pride with you, wherever you may go. Go happily, leading, learning, and being the change you want to see in the world. Congratulations to you, and may God bless each one of you beyond recognition until we meet again. Thank you, and congratulations to the graduates, or soon-to-be graduates of Milton-Union High School. I get another distinction in being able to present to you at this time our 4 colored valedictorians, and I would invite the gentlemen to the stage at this point, Mr. Noah Barth, Clay Hill, Logan Lightcap, and Cole Wallace, if you would join me on stage. Allow me, while they make their way here, to tell you about these fine gentlemen. Noah Barth is the son of Jeff and Jody Barth. Noah has been a dance captain in Milton-Union's award-winning show choir, captain of the cross-country team, secretary of our National Honor Society, and president of the Gay Straight Alliance, and editor of the yearbook. Noah will be moving to Chicago to attend DePaul University in September, where he has received $100,000 in scholarships. He will major in American Studies with a minor in community service. Clay Hill, who is the son of Brian and Tina Hill. Clay is his strongest passion is being outdoors with family and learning about nature. Clay finds the fresh air and wildlife to be exhilarating. Favorite hobby of his is hunting and frequently taking trips for camping and hunting alike. Clay hunts deer, turkey, doves, and various other small game, and someday would like a chance to hunt elk. Clay is involved in student government, National Honor Society, serving as our treasurer, vice president, respectively. An activity that takes up the majority of his time this summer is 4-H Club. He raises pigs, rabbits to show at the fair, and serves as a 4-H counselor. Clay plans to attend Wright State University studying environmental sciences. Logan Lightcap is the son of John and Michelle Lightcap. Logan has participated in numerous church activities, the Sunrise Breakfast, feeding the homeless in Dayton, and the 30-hour famine to raise money for starving children in Africa. He has been in all 3 high school musicals, enjoying the opportunity to perform in front of large live audiences. He has worked on the summer farm, baling hay, caring for the horses, and maintaining property. He's also worked since 2002 in his family's business, maintaining facilities at both their car washes. Logan has taken all honors courses and is very strong in mathematics, taking PSEO in his junior and senior year. This fall, Logan won the Honor Math Medal for excellence in the field of mathematics and acquired the Provost Scholarship at Ohio State, which he will be attending to study actuarial science. Cole Wallace, his parents Dave and Kathy Wallace. Cole is an active student who likes to keep himself busy in a variety of sports and other activities. During his time at Milton, Cole has been involved in tennis, football, baseball, quiz team, and student government. He's also participated in a great number of community service activities. Cole is a member of our National Honor Society, Junior Teen Institute, Clubhouse, Habitat for Humanity, and Interact. Next fall, Cole will be taking his passion for math and science to Ohio Northern University, where he will begin a 6-year program in PharmD at the Rad College of Pharmacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you 2013's co-valedictorians.
Today, as a group, we have mixed emotions. A portion of us are overjoyed at the opportunity to leave West Milton. Some to return, and some to not. Another portion of us are full of sadness. After all, this has been our home for the last 13 years. How can we so easily pack up and move on? And there are those of us who feel both of these emotions. Whatever you feel on this momentous day, there's something I once read that I'm going to share with you. Standing here in the ruins of the dark, what we build could be anything. I cannot think of anything more appropriate after the years we have spent together as a class. We have endured deaths and close ones and the destruction of our beloved school building, all by each other's sides. And now, as we sit here on the threshold of the rest of our lives, this darkness we are in could represent a new beginning, a morning, a fresh start, or it could be a sadness. Either way, we have a blank canvas, a clean slate, and what we make out of it is up to us. If we choose to waste this opportunity, it is on our shoulders, and I advise you not to do so. Step out of your comfort zone and into the realm of the unknown. We only get one chance at this life, so let us do it the way that we want and make it count. Make a difference in this world and leave your mark. Ultimately, step close to the edge, because without the chance for real disaster, real risk, we are left without the chance for real salvation, real elation, real excitement, joy, discovery, or invention. In other words, grab the bull by the horns, class of 2013. We never know the next opportunity will arise, if ever. Leave this place without regret. Whether you decide to return or not, West Milton and Milton-Union schools will always be the prologue to our story. And if there's one thing I learned, there's always a place for you at MUHS. No matter who you are or what you have done, you will always be a bulldog.
Tonight represents the end of the prologue and the beginning of the first chapter of our lives. Our parents, teachers, siblings, and even extended families have had the greatest impact on shaping our decisions, successes, and the eventual outcomes of this prologue. We had a job to do, get an education and a diploma. They had a job to do too, help establish a foundation that would set us on our way for a successful life. And all of us here tonight owe all of you a great deal of thanks for everything you've done for us in laying that foundation. With the beginning of this chapter, which begins tonight, how we perceive and what we strive to become is now our responsibility. The possibilities are endless and completely up to us. The hard work and drive necessary to achieve our goals has to come from within us. From this point forward, we have to own our own success and failures. The decision-making processes that have been ingrained in all of us will take greater significance as we must decide for ourselves what we want, where we want to go from here. This is a pretty overwhelming realization, but one we feel we are ready for. The only real limitations we have are those that we set for ourselves. If we can find the courage to dream big and work hard, the sky's the limit to what we can become. Hard work is certainly a huge factor in the outcome of our future, but so is making your decisions, learning from others around us, and relying on that ever-important foundation that our families have worked so hard to instill in us. Having the self-confidence and courage to strive for what we truly want out of our life will make it possible for all of us to go through this next chapter of our lives with no regrets. So my wish for all of my fellow graduates tonight is that we all reach for the stars with courage and self-confidence, but yet never forget where we came from and how we started this crazy journey.
When I first stepped into the role of being a Bulldog, I had no idea what it would entail. I at first thought that there was just one Bulldog, that to be a Bulldog you had to be cool and popular, play all the sports, wear the right brand of clothing, and just barely pass your math tests. I, for one, was a little skeptical because coming into high school, I didn't fit any of these Bulldog qualities. However, sometime between when I started and where I am now, I realized that there isn't just one Bulldog, there's thousands. Each and every student who has ever stepped in these halls represents a different Bulldog. Personally, I'm proud to call myself a Bulldog. Some are shy, some are creative, some are cool and popular, some are loyal, and some are outgoing. But each and every Bulldog is one thing, themselves. Our class motto is from Oscar Wilde. He once said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." In other words, don't try to be somebody you're not. On that note, I hope and pray you don't confuse imitating somebody with being inspired by somebody. I admit there are times when I've imitated someone in the hopes of fitting in. We all have. And through these years, I think I've realized exactly who I want to be like. Me. And all of you should strive to be you. Yes, sometimes our lives can be unfair, and we make so many mistakes. So imitating another might seem like a solution. But mistakes are what allow us to grow. How we react to a situation defines us. So I say, make mistakes, but don't repeat them. Discover who you are so that when you're deciding upon which Bulldog you are, you already know. Some may tend to already know who they are, and that may be true. But for the vast majority of us, sitting here waiting to receive our diplomas, we still have the rest of our lives to figure it out. Because as Noah and Logan have already stated, our time here at West Milton and Milton-Union schools is simply the prologue. Tonight represents something so much more than the finishing of our high school career. Tonight we begin to write the chapters of the rest of our lives.
Before I start my speech, I actually have something pretty important to say. My graduation party is tomorrow from 5 to 8. Gifts and money appreciated. Alright, there we go. Well, folks, here we are. For most, today is just an ordinary Friday, not for us. For us, it is the Friday, we'll say, in our own style and level of emotion, sadness, happiness, or contempt. So long, Milton-Union. It's been nice knowing you. And as your classmate, I share your pace and excitement. But I challenge you to take a moment for reflection and gratitude. Think of who you are. Think of the person that life has molded you into. And then think about your greatest memories. Those cherished moments that float around in your head in a box labeled nostalgia. And try to tell me that Milton-Union has had absolutely no influence on it. Whether we want to admit it or not, our school has made a giant impact in our lives. It's the camaraderie of our sports teams, the friends we've met, the laughs we've shared, the shoulders we've cried on, the love we've given, the lessons we've learned, and the memories we've made here at Milton that have forever branded our lives. As the class of 2013, we all remember those unforgettable moments, like the ones that may have involved a missing specimen from biology lab, an then decent exposure at the baseball field, or even a broken stool from an elementary classroom. These are all part of what defines us. I can mutter the phrase, hey, and as the audience looks at each other in confusion, there won't be many of my classmates that don't crack a smile. I'm making this speech not to encourage my classmates to be stuck in high school the rest of their lives, but to encourage them to take what they have learned throughout their time in Milton-Union and use it as a stepladder to reach the bigger and better things in life. I think that Scott Muscuddy said it best, better known as Kid Cudi, when he said, "It might take a while, but eventually you will find the good in goodbye." We're all dying to go out and conquer this earth, and I know that we can. But remember where you came from, what you're made of, how you were made in the process, and use it as a tool. Congratulations, and good luck, class of 2013.
Get another distinct honor of introducing our keynote speaker this evening, Dr. Connie McCarroll. She happens to be Clay's relative, and I have several things to hope to do her justice in introducing her to you. Connie is a graduate of our high school. Am I allowed to mention the year? 1964. During her time at Milton, she played softball and continues to do so now, even playing on a senior softball team. Connie was inducted into the Softball Hall of Fame in Dayton, Ohio. After high school, she continued on to Wright State to get her bachelor's and master's degree in chemistry. She furthered her education at Michigan State, where she got her DO in pediatrics. Connie was a neonatologist for premature babies. She taught pediatrics at Ohio University College of Medicine. She is now semi-retired and works as a pediatrician. Connie was in the Air Force. She lived in Japan for a while, frequently takes mission trips to Guatemala and India. She is a dedicated volunteer worker, a deacon at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Connie also helped found a kids club in Dayton called Duda for overweight children, where they dance and exercise and eat healthy. And she was inducted into the Milton-Union Hall of Honor. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Connie McCarroll.
Thank you, Dr. Copperly. Thank you, school board, Superintendent Graham, and parents in the class of 2013. I wanted to say what year I graduated because if you live a short time, you couldn't get all these things in so that I've accomplished. So I appreciate that. So I also want to thank the citizens of West Milton and the citizens of the Union Township for securing the future of our children by passing the levy, renewal levy, on May 7th. I want to applaud you for doing that. I do have one thing to ask Dr. Ramble, because this is the third time I've been recalled to the stage for graduation, and I brought my diploma to make sure it was signed, to make sure that I really did graduate in 1964, because I'm afraid it's Groundhog Day, and then I'm having to re-graduate with you guys or something. But seriously, as I get into the heart of my speech, I did graduate from Milton in 1964, and I did graduate with a bachelor's and master's degree. But I wouldn't be here today without help from the West Milton community, and especially with my high school chemistry teacher, Mrs. Suzanne Coate. And I would like to dedicate my speech to her today, because without her, I wouldn't have had the encouragement to go on and finish my degrees that I do have and to accomplish the things that I have. And without my family, I wouldn't be standing here before you today. So I'm giving this speech in honor of her today. As Dr. Powderly mentioned, I did graduate from Michigan State University. And I still continue to be an assistant professor of pediatrics at Ohio University by teaching medical students at Grandview Hospital and Wright State students as well. But one of the things that you might not know about me is that I'm a second cousin to Professor Minerva McGonagall of Hogwarts. Did anybody know that? Did y'all know that at all? So sometimes I get to substitute and teach potions class at Hogwarts. So since I'm going to represent Hogwarts today, I need to get ready to do that. So I have it on some best information here from the Wizardry Ministry. Some of you know that there's been a lot of dismay about the loss of our beloved high school. And I too share that feeling because I had 4 years there. I didn't go there all 12 years of my schooling. But I want you to know that our school building is not lost because it was not unnoticed by the Ministry of Wizardry that our Bulldog spirit was well known by them. And it may have appeared by you muggles out there that our building was destroyed. But I have it on the best information that our high school building went through a port key and now exists on the campus of Hogwarts. So our building is still on Hogwarts. And that our high school building is now the House of Bulldogs on Hogwarts. And because of your spirit, your Bulldog spirit, and your pride, we are now existing and the building has not been lost. And I also want to let you know, because of the Bulldog spirit and pride of our men of the fall, they are now going to begin football to be played along with Quidditch. And also they're going to begin lady volleyball and lady basketball soon. So that you should be proud that your Bulldog spirit and our Bulldog spirit of the past exists and is continuing to exist because of what they speak. So because of your adeptness, your spirit, and your pride, we have been honored to have the House of Bulldog now, that there's 5 houses now existing in Hogwarts. So that it is well with our school building, so be not dismayed, we are well. But what I'd like to do now is talk about Hogwarts and Harry Potter a little bit. And I think Harry Potter can teach us some lessons and some nice life lessons. So what kind of lessons do you think Harry Potter can teach us? There's lots of lessons, I think, if you follow the whole series and watch the movies. I've chosen 4. Now, lesson number 1 is that all knowledge is useful. Yes, all knowledge is useful, no matter what it is you learn. Let's look at Luna Lovegood. Luna is one of my favorite characters, especially in the movie. I think they portrayed her very, very well. She's shy and yet demure. Luna always has a wealth of knowledge in her, but it's bizarre knowledge. She has her quibberisms, but Harry found those very useful when he was in trouble. Remember the Thesters that came and took them away when they needed to escape? I often wondered in medical school why I had to learn these crazy equations. I had to learn what was was called a cardiac output equation. I thought, what am I going to do with that? But when I got into the neonatal intensive care unit, there was 4 parts of that equation, and I had to use every part of that equation to save those babies' lives. So I thought, man, why didn't I remember that then? And then I had to relearn it again. So all knowledge is useful. So never stop learning. What you learn now may prove useful anytime in some place. And I always think of MacGyver and all his little tricks, if you remember watching MacGyver. Lesson number 2, stay true to your nerdy friends. Do you have any nerdy friends out there? I was probably a nerd in high school. I'm not sure. Some of my classmates out there probably can say that. But look at Neville Longbottom. Look at Luna Lovegood, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger. Don't point at each other out there. I've seen them. They were all perceived by others as being nerdy, especially the Slytherins. They were not in the in crowd or the cool crowd. But they were cool, they were true blue to Harry and to Albus Dumbledore, to Hogwarts, and to the truth. In the end, Neville stood boldly before Voldemort and killed Nagini and destroyed the final Horcrux. So Neville proved to be a good friend. So don't betray your nerdy friends just to gain some frivolous thing. Remember, a nerd may be your brother, your sister, your good friend. He or she may become a doctor or a nurse, an astronaut, or the one that saves you in the future. Lesson number 3, share your pain and your feelings. This also means share your hopes. Harry often refused to share his feelings and fears. Whenever his scar would start to hurt, he didn't let Albus Dumbledore know. Perhaps if he had told Albus, Albus could have helped him. And he might have known when Voldemort was plotting against him. So it is with us. We need people in whom we can confide, and it is good to have spiritual directors or gurus or life coaches who can help guide us in our decision making. When you get to college, you will want to seek out people who will help you, guide you, and help you. Even if you go to service, you'll want to find someone that will help you with those decision making. And life is a journey. One of your valedictorians mentioned that. So you need to have people who will help you along those milestones and give you direction. Even your parents, believe it or not, can help you with direction. Sometimes you get stuck, and these people can help you. And being stuck can be a good thing. It's not always bad. Being stuck is what I call a desert place, a time to reflect and listen and have those people help you come through that desert time. So find someone who will be your mentor each phase of your life. Read good books, read about good people, read about the human spirit, read stories of courage and struggle. I recommend The Life of Pi, if you have not read that. Read stories of heroes of World War II, of Iraq and Afghanistan. There are so many bad things we see today, but there are good people who arise above their struggles. Fill your days with those, and you will have one of the secrets to success of life and the human spirit. Number 4, realize your family is more important than you think. Harry's parents died to save him, yet they lived on in important ways. It was his mother's love which saved him from Voldemort. Aunt Petunia, believe it or not, too was important for Harry. She was grudgingly a part of a secret blood spell that protected Harry. But Harry felt he was picked on, and definitely he was. but he was placed in a safe place by Dumbledore. Sometimes we may not understand why our parents or guardians do certain things, but later as we get older, we see it is for our good. We may derive strength from stumbling rocks and bumps in the roads we meet. In other words, even when we feel distant from our families, they may be helping us in ways that we do not know. I would like to quote Mark Twain because you might think your parents or guardians don't know very much. This is a quote from Mark Twain. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant, I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man learned in 7 years. We have all been there. Our parents do have some wisdom, believe it or not. And my family has always been important to me. My parents supported me in my endeavors. They encouraged me when the going got rough. They taught me not to take the first no when I was told no. They told me there would be a window open when the doors closed. They encouraged me to keep pursuing my dreams. And they taught me that hard work does help make your goals. And they sometimes told me that you have to make sacrifices to make your goals and dreams. Do not be afraid of hard work or sacrifices to make your dreams come true. And there are good people in your community here to help you. Remember Miss Fick, who helped Harry after the Dementors attacked Harry and Dudley in the Order of the Phoenix? So there are people who will come to help you and rescue you if you need to. There are many other lessons that one can glean from Harry Potter. You may want to think about them. For example, be kind to the little people. They might save your life. Remember Dobby dying for Harry? Before I close, I must give credit to the LeafNet for some of these lessons. Now I want to leave you with two sayings from Albus Dumbledore. I paraphrase one. Your future lies ahead of you, and there will be a time when you must choose between what is easy and what is right. Secondly, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Now I thank you for allowing me to be here with you today. Now may you, the class of 2013, go forth into the world in peace, taking with you our Bulldog spirit and our Bulldog pride. May God bless you, may God bless this community, and God bless America.
As all of us entered the halls of the old school our freshman year, no one knew for sure what lay ahead of us. No one knew what to expect, or even what high school was like. Some of us who had older siblings had a general idea of what it would be like, but for most of us, it would be an entirely alien and new experience. Freshman year was a transition like no other. Entering high school, we all became part of something that was much bigger than just ourselves. We became part of a tradition of excellence that had been maintained and preserved since even before our parents' time. Although we didn't know what to expect, each and every one of us freshman year branched out and found ourselves laying the foundation for the next 4 years of our lives. Some of us joined sports teams, academic groups, community service organizations, whatever sparked our interests. We branched out searching for wherever we thought we could fit in and be just like the upperclassmen who, whether you will admit it or not, we all looked up to. Freshman year, although on the surface seemed very uneventful, deep down it may have been the most important of the 4 years we spent here. After our experience with our freshman homecoming, I hope you all remember that, our class began to stop thinking of ourselves as individuals and instead started thinking of ourselves as a class. Throughout the rest of the year, the individuality of our class began to fade out and we started working together as a unit. Although we still weren't sure what was in store for us, by the end of freshman year, we were at least prepared to face the rest of our duration here at Milton-Union as a class.
Sophomore year was the most exciting year. The year started out with our Bulldog football team moving to a new division within the SWPL. Facing new teams, the Bulldogs struggled, ending the season 4-6. Luckily, the class of 2013 had quite a few players under the Friday night lights, igniting the fire to better the team in the coming years. Along with varsity letters came many of our licenses. Almost immediately, the scout for the senior notice of worst driver and most likely to get lost began. Not only were we above the freshmen, we could drive too. High school became easier, having been through 1 year. We were able to better manage our time between classes, having time to go to our lockers to change books, and still having time to stop and talk to friends. Few of us struggled to remember our combinations, but for some reason managed to continue to forget that school started at 7:40 and not 8 o'clock. In 2011, Milton-Union history was made when the Center Stage Show Choir won the Best Overall Crew twice and qualified for their very first finals at Central Crossing with their show Illusions. In the spring, Happy Days in New School was performed by the talented high school students, with 5 of our classmates taking leading roles. The Bulldog track team also stood out in the spring of 2011, winning multiple events at league and placing well within the district. Noah Barr was our class president and fearless leader, assisted by Vice President Jesse Perron, Secretary Jessica Ogden, Treasurer Clay Hill, and reporter Stephanie Fetters. The class officers created a float design that took second in the homecoming parade and organized many fundraisers to prepare the class to decorate for the prom the following year. Megan Ward, Casey Jackson, and Shanta Deere beautifully represented the class of 2013 at the homecoming parade during our sophomore year. With being able to drive and becoming more involved with clubs and sports, we saw each other more often and grew closer as a class. We could begin to see the walls of our past cliques quickly beginning to fall.
My fellow classmates, we arrived in high school 4 short years ago, and now it's already time for us to leave. It seems like only yesterday that we were skinny, awkward little freshmen fighting with the locks in our lockers, trying to figure out where our next class was, and looking clueless to all the upperclassmen. Now we are the upperclassmen, the seniors who stand here ready to graduate and move forward in this world. I want to focus on our junior year of high school. The first year we had the title of upperclassmen. Most of us went into our junior year focusing on almost being finished with high school, not knowing this time would come so quickly. Junior year was an exciting year. We got to participate in Powder Puff, and don't forget how we dominated the seniors. It was our last year in the old high school where we began our journey of high school together as one big family. We were able to attend prom and have the time of our lives. It's so amazing to think about how far each one of us has come since the beginning of our high school career. And now, here we are. Our time in high school is finished, and it's up to the next class to step into our shoes and take over. I know that as I look out at all of you, I will reminisce on all of the friendships I've enjoyed these last 4 years. Some were pretty casual, and others were much closer, but I'll remember each one fondly, as I'm sure you all will too. And when many of our high school memories begin to fade, that's how we'll ultimately measure the time we spent here. I would like to say thank you to everyone in the senior class for supporting and loving my family as we went through the tragedy of losing my father so suddenly. I was amazed at the amounts of kind words, cards, flowers, and people who waited in line at my father's viewing to support me through our lives. I can't wait to see what God has planned for all of us in the future.
It feels like it was just yesterday was our first day of our senior year. The time has flown since then. This was our first year in the new building, and we were the first ones to fill it with new memories. This year our football team was outstanding and made it to the third round of playoffs. Even the girls were pretty good at cover up, winning once again this year. Homecoming soon came and went, and we were off into the basketball season. During the season, we had a new student section that came to all the home games and cheered on the team. Another memory was government days, where we had a lot of fun between the 2 days. On the second day was the most fun when we all had the water fight. Even though it was cold out, everyone still took part in it. Then sometime during the fourth quarter, senioritis hit everyone, and we were all ready to be done and graduate. Well, now we're finally here, and I'm glad that I've met each one of you guys, and I wish you the best of luck in the future.
While they make their way to their seats, before we begin what we've all come to see, I wish to point out to the audience, administrators, guests on the stage, that the class of 2013 is recognizing a classmate of theirs, Jocelyn Brock, who has gone before us, but is here with us in our memories and in spirit with her family this evening. Her memory is noted with a cap and gown and flower on a seat amongst our graduates in the front row. Many of our students are wearing an orange wristband provided by Jocelyn's family to remember and honor her this evening. Dr. Randall, members of the Board of Education, it is now my honor to present to you the candidates for graduation in the 2013 class who have met both the state and Milton-Union High School Board of Education requirements for graduation. While we are making final arrangements here this evening, I would like to ask that we are respectful of each other's sons and daughters as they come to the stage to receive their diploma. They'll stop at center stage, have a picture and a handshake, and receive their diploma. It is my goal always to have each parent be able to hear their son or daughter's name called, and certainly to applaud at the appropriate times. So at this time, I think we have our advisors in place. And we are ready to begin. Noah Daniel Barth. Logan Dale Lightcap. Clay Robert Hill. Cole Matthew Wallace. Michaela Alexandria Bates. Wyatt Dale Banner. Victoria Michelle Berry. Wesley Dean Beiser. Michaela Faith Berry. Christopher James Boggs. Joshua Michael Brewer. Brooke Ann Brown. Samuel Todd Brady. Caitlin Marie Cantrell. Anthony Tyler Brown. Brittany Lynn Compton. Dylan Robert Bruner. Dakota Lee Albaugh. Caitlin Michelle Neely. Austin Joseph Dickerson. Casey Lynn Jackson. Shelby Nicole Stasiak. Destiny Ryan Davis. Jackson Garrett Conley. Rebecca Marie Dieter. Tyler Dale Cottrell. Stephanie Christine Fetters. Gustavo Morari. Kathleen Fisher. Jonathan Malcolm Dieter. Emily Laura Gentry. Dustin Paul Downey. Cassandra Sue Hayworth. Brandon Michael Downey. Aaron Drew Helser. Travis Marshall Dunn. Dallas James Chrisman. Corinne Michelle Knight. Nicolar Ronald Fields. Cole Thomas Frieders. Caitlin Danielle Burlingham. Adrian Frost Galvey. Jacob Jonathan Gearhart. Amber Marie Leach. Damian Michael Hicks. Kyle Martin Holloway. Haley Sierra Martins. Craig Ryan Hollis. Farah Chantel Mason. Blake William Engel. Kaylee Ariel McLinch. Trevor Jamal Johnson. Mallory Elizabeth Humphrey. Wade Allen Neal. Joshua Newman. Jessica Ray Ogden. David Gray Carnes. Alexander Joseph King. Jesse Eileen Perone. Trevor Jordan Klosterman. Austin Jordan Nepper. Carrie Elizabeth Powers. Corey Lee Lehman. Connor John Lunsford. Jacob Lee Lyons. Daniel Ray McKinley. Catherine Grace Pertee. Colin Thomas Newport. Caroline Michelle Richardson. Samuel Christopher Neiswanger. Cody Michael Hollis. Cheyenne Ray Sass. Jason Patrick Seiler. Chelsea Marie Smith. Colton Kenneth Pleshik. Margaret Nicole Song. Jesse Lee Simpson. Kayla Marie Smith. Kyle Matthew Sills. Nicholas Allen Simpson. Tyler Nicholas Skaggs. Stacy Balaam Spitler. Dalton Matthew Sahaki. Joey Lee Smith. Brianna Renee Steele. April Victoria Denise Stein. Brandon Kyle Stone. Shannon Marie Stonerock. Joseph Allen Taylor. Michaela Lynn Stumpf. Dylan Ryan Smith. Casey James Wheelock. Rosa Louise Tweed. Nash Walker. Sarah May Truby. Michael Allen Voorhees. Elise Genevieve Wood. Troy Nicholas Tyree. Anna Elizabeth Baggies. Megan Nicole Ward. Brian Curtis Yost. Hunter J. Wiltshire. Haley Danielle James Samuel Whitman. Charity Elizabeth Wagner. Michael William Workman. Desiree Ann Williams. Chandra Nicole Dieter. Cody Jacob Alderman. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more task at hand before I present to you the most recent graduates of Milton-Union High School. I would invite the class officers to the front of our stage for the annual turning of the tassel to signify their graduation.